Good morning. We're here with Miriam Boudreaux, President of Mireaux Management Solutions and the creator of Web QMS. So Miriam, can you tell me a little bit more about Web QMS and exactly what does that mean?
Good morning, Andrew, and thank you for coming here. The Web QMS is an enterprise management system to help organizations ensure their processes meet the requirements of the ISO standards.
So Miriam, when you say help their processes, do you mean like help with their financial or accounting functions?
No, but funny you ask. When organizations think about processes or enterprise management system, they think about accounting or MRP software. What the Web QMS does is actually help them comply with their operational functions that are normally done manually in an organization, but that can actually be done better through an online process.
So explain a little bit more about the kind of operational functions that you're talking about.
Well, let me give you some examples that can help explain that.
Okay.
Let's say you have an assembly, a manufacturing area.
Okay.
And in any organization that assembles products, you're going to have some defective product,
Sure.
part of the process. You can have a 20% reject rate or a 5% reject rate. Whatever it is, wouldn't you want to know exactly where the rejects are so you can tackle those?
Sure.
And that's exactly where the Web QMS can help you.
Okay.
It will help you record and create reports based on these nonconformities so that you know exactly where the defects are and you can go and put your efforts towards that. That's, for example, part of the NCR, the Nonconformance Report application that within the QMS, the Web QMS that can.
So Miriam, can you explain a little bit more about the kind of operational functions that you're talking about?
Sure, let me give you some examples of operational tasks where the Web QMS can help. Say you have an area where you assemble products. As with every process, there's going to be some margin of error, some defects that come out of the process every day. Now, the reject rate could be 20% or could be 5%. But if it is high, wouldn't you want to know where those defects are?
Absolutely.
The Web QMS Nonconformance Report or NCR application helps you keep track of your nonconformities daily, where the defects are, so that you can generate reports and decide where to concentrate your efforts. And that will make it much easier for you to see where the high hitters are and what you actually need to do to improve your operations.
So Miriam, the Web QMS, is it just for manufacturing companies or can it also be used for service companies as well?
That's correct. Actually, the Web QMS can be used for manufacturing and service companies. Let me give you another example where you can see how it will be applied to a service company.
Okay.
Say you work in a purchasing area and you tell the buyers to play the invoices in a certain folder. And every day you go see the folder and the invoices are not there. You can keep telling them and actually nobody may take responsibility. In this case, you can use the CIP application of the Web QMS. With the CIP application, you get a systematic approach to assigning a problem to somebody, an opportunity for improvement, making sure that that person conducts a root cause analysis, does the investigation, and the problem will get verified and validated before it's actually closed. So the CIP provides you a very good closed loop process so that all of the issues can get taken care on time.
And what happens if someone does not complete the process or does not complete that task that they were supposed to? Is there a higher level that gets notified if, say for instance, I go and I ignore that I'm supposed to, do a particular task? Does someone else get notification of that, or how does that work?
Excellent question. Actually, with the CIP application, you avoid having to go and remind the people personally of what they need to do. The CIP application does all of that for you. You get email reminders, or your manager gets email reminders of what issues you didn't take. So you don't have to go and chase the problem or chase the people, but actually the system does it for yourself.
Nice. So wouldn't it just be easier to talk to people to get problems resolved?
Well, you could do that, but in an organization, there's problems every day. And it will be hard to keep up with all of those, and the problems will actually just get brushed off or forgotten. With the CIP, no opportunity for improvement will get forgotten. They will always be there until they get properly closed.
So Miriam, I definitely see how that could help the bigger companies, like you said, because there's so many responsibilities, so many staff members. But can this application also be used for smaller companies?
Most definitely. In small companies, you don't have a lot of resources, and the Web QMS is very flexible. Say the CIP, we have a long path and a short path, so that not all problems go through the same amount of stages. And therefore, if you're a small company, you can always take the short path and ensure that you use just the right amount of resources for your problem given.
So Miriam, that seems really great. So tell me, what other tools do you have on the Web QMS Enterprise Management System?
Besides the non-conformance report, NCR, that I just explained, and the CIP application, we also have the calibration application, e-learning, and the employee certifications, besides other modules.
Excellent, excellent. So tell me a little bit more about this calibration application.
Let me give you a simple example.
Okay.
Say in your home, you have a thermometer.
Yes.
You use a thermometer to check the temperature, and you know that it's probably not accurate. It's probably 1 degree or 1 degree difference up or down, and you know that if you go to the doctor, it's probably going to be a much more accurate thermometer. So you kind of account for that. In an organization, you cannot go by your gut feeling. Your equipment has to be right on the money.
Absolutely.
What the calibration application on the Web QMS does is keep track of all your equipment and order calibration certificates. And it also provides you reminders and alerts so that the equipment gets to send for calibration before it is overdue. And that way you always have your equipment calibrated and ready to be used.
You know, that's interesting. I never really thought about my thermometer needing to be calibrated. I just assumed that they were pretty reliable.
Well, and they are, and because you're using it so infrequently and also in a control environment, but in an organization, a factory, or some other area like that, where the temperatures are fluctuating up or down, or where actually you're using it day in and day out a lot, the equipment sometimes vary, and that's where you need to keep up with their calibration. And the Web QMS calibration application helps you maintain all of that in check.
All right, Miriam. So I heard you earlier mention something about the e-learning module. Can you expand a little bit more about that? Exactly what is this e-learning module that the QMS has to offer?
Sure. The e-learning is the application to train employees through videos, presentations, and actually through online tests. And so what this application helps you with is to minimize your training resources while really maximizing your delivery of training. With very few resources, you can create a single video or a single training presentation, your online test, and everybody can take that test, new employees or existing employees. And we have several features to make sure that every time an employee takes a training, it's not the same. So for example, in the case of a test, we might design a test with, let's say, 40 questions, but only 10 gets presented to the user. And so not all 10 sets of questions will be the same.
Well, Miriam, that's all good and well, but wouldn't it just be easier to do like a session in the classroom or give people, training in the classroom?
Well, you could do that as well, but nowadays organizations are stretched so thin in terms of manpower. Usually the trainers become the managers who have to train other people, and there's not a department dedicated to do that. And so with the e-learning application from the Web QMS, you really get a whole department by just creating one single training. So as you keep adding, all of that training classes with the respective tests stay there, and when people take the training, it all goes into the training records on the Web QMS. So it's a way to maximize your existing resources.
Wow, Miriam, that's great, but is everybody really comfortable taking classes online?
Well, actually, people love computers. And if you have employees that do not use computers at work, they're probably using computers at home. So when you give them a computer to take a training, they're probably going to feel right at home.
Okay. Miriam, that's very nice, but what about actual documentation?
Yes, the Web QMS, that's one of their basic functions, is to keep up with all your procedures, work instructions, forms, and any other documentation that you need to comply with the requirements of the ISO standard. So we make sure that all of your documentation is online, the latest release, that you have a way to send it out for review and for approval, and that everyone is looking at the latest versions and of control documents. And there is actually other requirements of the standard that are met through the Web QMS as well, such as the quality policy, the quality manual, your KPIs or metrics, external documents, just a myriad of documents that are also part of the Web QMS.
So Miriam, KPIs, metrics, that's jargon for someone like me. Can you explain a little bit more about what that means?
Sure. KPIs is key performance indicators, and it actually tells you how your organization is doing. This year we introduced 41 key performance indicators throughout the Web QMS.
Wow.
Some from the CIP, some from the NCR application, some from calibration, so that you know exactly how you're doing. How many non-conformities do you have per product? How many defects do you have per line? How many CIPs do you have per location? How many corrective and preventive actions have been issued in the last 6 months? How many customer complaints? How many overdue items? Those are just metrics or indicators that tell you how good or bad your business is doing to help you prioritize where to put your efforts.
Exactly. And as you say that, Miriam, I think about visibility. I think about the fact that this program allows you to literally see where the good and where the bad are so that you can correct them. So with this Web QMS, visibility is very important, and it shows exactly where, there needs to be improvement.
You're exactly right. With the Web QMS, employees, managers, everybody has visibility, and everybody is empowered with the information that is being shown to them so that they can do something about it and help improve. And that's what the ISO is all about. The ISO standards is all about continual improvement.
So, Miriam, you've given me a lot of information about the Web QMS, but is there anything else that you haven't already told me about the Web QMS?
Well, I've mentioned several applications, but there is one more that is worth mentioning, which is the employee certifications application. For example, Andrew, in your industry, are there any certifications you have to keep up with?
Absolutely. There are a number of different certifications and licenses that we have to keep, updated all the time, all throughout the year. Actually, I have a renewal that's coming up pretty soon, so it sounds like this program or this application of Web QMS is going to be very helpful for a lot of businesses out there.
Exactly. Depending on the industries, you may have to keep up with a lot of certifications. Say on the offshore industry, organizations require their employees to keep up with all of these certifications, or they risk not going into a vessel or the rig. And therefore, whether it is safe golf, water survival, CPR, you have to maintain a list and you have to be very well organized, have the certificates, and what the Web QMS employee certification does is help you maintain all of that. Get reminders so that you know ahead of time what certifications are coming to you, and not only this week, but way ahead, because once you send an employee offshore, they might be there 90 days,
Right.
A long time, and therefore you have to know in advance if their certifications will expire while they are offshore. So this application really helps.
Wow, Miriam. So it seems like the QMS is really an enterprise management system, and it has so much to offer a lot of different businesses out there.
That's right, Andrew. The Web QMS is an enterprise management system, and we're adding more and more modules to make it worthwhile for any organization and to truly add value to their operations. The Web QMS is the future of the advanced quality company.
Wow, Miriam. as if the QMS already doesn't do enough, you said that you guys are developing even more modules. Can you talk a little bit about what you guys have in store in the future?
I'll give you a sneak preview, Andrew.
Okay.
We are developing a maintenance module. With that, you'll be able to keep up with your equipment preventive maintenance, the repair, and also their usage. So we're already on the testing stages and will be released soon.
Wow. So I love the fact that you said it's going to be really soon. So how can people get in touch with you and kind of get more of an understanding, get their hands wet with QMS?
Andrew, they can actually go to our website and sign up to look at our videos. They can go to YouTube, and we have a 5-minute video of the Web QMS as well. But they can always just contact us, call us, or go send us an email directly to us, and we will schedule a personalized tour of the Web QMS.
Wow.
All of these free of charge. And if that wasn't enough, if you want a test drive of the Web QMS, you're welcome to do that, again at no charge.
Miriam, thank you so much for giving me a wealth of information about the Web QMS. I'm very certain that a lot of businesses out there are going to be eager to use what you guys have developed.
Thank you, Andrew. And to learn more about the Web QMS, please go to our website, www.mireauxms.com, or send us an email at info@mireauxms.com. And we can arrange a free demo and show you how the Web QMS can help you improve. Thank you, Andrew.
Thanks again, Miriam. It's been a pleasure.